From our free daily newsletter, the latest from podnews.net with Spots Now. Edison Research at SSRS released the top 50 podcasts in the US for Q2 26. The Bill Simmons podcast, which is now visible on Netflix, has jumped 17 positions to make it into the top 25 for the first time. And entering in the top 50 for the first time, British podcast The Rest Is History. Simplecast hosts 17 of the top 50, Megaphone hosts 16, and the next podcast host in the list is Omni Studio with 4. Even if Netflix won't say how well its podcasts have done so far, one's clearly done well because it's been renewed. The Rest Is Football will now be on Netflix for the next Premier League season. No categories for video or ads or AI. That's the headline for the New York City Podcast Awards, which is now open for entries. The second season for the awards. Entries start at just $75. Podcast Pilot is a new tool to help with recording a multicam podcast, delivering a finished, synced timeline for Premiere, Resolve and Final Cut, shaving an hour off every production. The app's developers are looking for testers of the software, which runs on any Apple Silicon Mac. The Sonar Awards in Australia has announced its 2026 judges. We'll link to those today. A press release distribution network for podcasters, Press Launch, has been launched and it's free until mid-August, after which it'll be $59 per press release. It sends your release to verified media contacts, adds it to an RSS feed and publishes online. Mind you, it's always free to send your news to Podnews. Editor@podnews.net is my email address. Highlight is a new audio editor within your browser, aiming to make it easier to start podcasting. It lets you edit audio as if it's a text document, enhance the audio, and also includes a podcast hosting service. The tool used to be known as Shanda Studio, and it's been in development for just over 3 years. Now, we think Highlight looks pretty good, although we don't think the case studies on its website look pretty good. Derek Brunel, for example, is a Highlight customer, but they've used not his face nor his correct podcast title. Mind you, that's better than Sarah Fay, who's another Highlight customer apparently, but she looks just like Gwyneth Paltrow, because she is. And Marcus Lynn looks exactly like Maisie Williams. We've grabbed some screenshots for you in our newsletter at podnews.net. A platform that turns podcasts into books, pod2book.ai, is celebrating its 1-year anniversary. Since its launch, it's produced more than 100 books. And happy 7th birthday to Tink Media. It's a Monday, so time for some tech stuff, and forget streaming payments. Streaming payments is just not going to work. It's over. Those are the words of Adam Curry, speaking in the Podcasting 2.0 podcast this week. Adam Curry and Dave Jones telling us that they will be closing the Podcast Index Lightning node, since it was costing more to run than it earned, and urged podcasters to focus on a clean, simple method of support using the podcast funding tag. So as of today, we've got just that, a simple, clean payment page via Stripe. You'll find it linked from our RSS feed's funding tag, and it's also at podnews.net/donate. Podbean is the latest podcast host to support what it describes as HLS video information in podcast RSS feeds. We think that's support of the alternate enclosure, allowing compatible podcast apps to access the video version. In Buzzsprout's implementation of video podcasting, the company's Magic Mastering still runs on the audio version, with dynamic compression and background noise cleanup still applied to the audio. We've noticed dramatically different audio quality on shows that have switched to video full-time, and we'd suggest it's a good thing to consider for any podcast hosting company. Drea is the latest iOS podcast app, DREA, that promises to remove the ads. This one is free. It downloads episodes onto your phone and uses both cloud LLMs and audio fingerprinting to work out where the ads are. It's the first ad removal tool we've discovered that correctly removes the host-read ad in this show with no false positives, which is quite impressive. In our tests, the app is pretending that it's Apple Podcasts, podcasts, so it'll be almost impossible to block unless we start considering some form of request signing by apps. I wanted to eliminate the possibility of the podcast host or distributor being able to identify which download requests are coming from my app, the developer told us, so that they couldn't block them. In July 2025, Felix Wolf published a thesis for his MSc on the subject of identifying advertisements in podcasts. That's been published by the University of Hamburg. It uses transcripts and machine learning, although it only found 60% of ads. And Podkit is a new API for podcast search, metadata, chapters and transcripts. It's launched at $15 a month versus the $75+ most competitors charge, it says. There's also a free tier. It works with AI agents as well via an MCP. And in podcast news, Christopher Balfe from Red Seat Ventures is the guest on Channels with Peter Kafka. We're told it's a wide-ranging conversation about where the creator business is headed and where the value is really being created. And Southeast Asia is one of the world's fastest growing regions and offers major business and investment opportunities. But too few in the US are familiar with the region and its potential. Asia Forward aims to close that gap by focusing each episode on specific trends and issues shaping the region and what they mean for US audiences. With only 5 months since launch, Asia Forward has garnered more than 20,000 subscribers and almost 1 million total views on YouTube. And this podcast is sponsored by Spots Now. You should try advanced search for podcast advertisers. It's a new AI search from Spots Now, which ranks all shows on audience, fit and targeting. Then it allows you to see the performance potential in one click, so you can isolate the best shows quickly. And from there, you can use the campaign planner, you can exclude competitor conflicts, exclude shows you're already running on, and even browse last-minute remnant spots matched to you. Try Spots Now search, free at spotsnow.io, or click on the link you'll find in our show notes. And that's the latest from our newsletter. To read all the stories and subscribe for free, we're at podnews.net.